Good morning, everybody. Danny Boy Reginald here with you. Welcome in another edition of the Sports Insanity Podcast on the Sports Insanity Network. We are sponsored, as always, by the Dugout of Millwood. Bill Corpus Crispy. What's up, my man?
Oh, what's going on, buddy? Happy Monday. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you are in. We welcome to the Sports Insanity Podcast on the Sports Insanity Network. We got a lot to talk about, my friend, today, don't we?
Football and more football. What a wild weekend it was in the wild card round.
You know,
NFL, crazy, man.
we should call this. Remember when we were saying about how they used to call it Super Wild Card Weekend, and they said, how about Wacky Wild Card Weekend? Dude, this was a Wacky Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah, the NFL playoffs starting with a massive. I mean, it ended in the third with the Patriots and Chargers last night.
But it's
But for
not
the
over
most,
yet.
but for the most part, the weekend was a massive success and crazy. So many lead changes, so many comebacks, and big time plays. We'll get to all that in a second. Plus, some news on the baseball front. We do have a signing to talk about. We'll get to that in a little bit. And of course, a lack of a signing. We'll also get to that. Start with the football, man.
Yeah,
What
let's
a weekend.
Yeah, let us. Yeah, first of all, we're gonna just breeze through this real quick because this game was really not of like it wasn't like not of importance, but it was just
Let's put it this way: it was a disaster for one team, and jubilation for the other team. You know,
it wasn't the Ole Miss Miami game. We'll just say that.
no, because we went through that, but Indiana, Oregon, it was a disaster. Let's call it like it is. It was a disaster. It was a disaster
Indiana
for
beat Oregon 56-22.
yeah, nothing to say. I think Dante Moore's stock kind of dropped a bit. Um, yeah, now I don't know. Now I don't know if he's really the guy for the Jets. Um, Not saying that he can't be a good NFL quarterback. But look, if this gives him the excuse to stay in school, I'll be a-okay with it. Look, I'm
Don't be a
not
fool.
big.
Stay in school.
You know me, Bill. Obviously that this game is for many people is never about the Jets. It's about college football and the whole college football playoff, the semifinal. You go into the final now, and all these teams playing for their pride in school and everything. For me, it was about the Jets in the future, and it was very apparent that Fernando Mendoza is the prized possession, and of course, in order to get Mendoza, we have to hope and pray that the Raiders make the wrong choice and take somebody else so that he falls into our laps. But that's not going to happen. The Raiders are going to get Fernando Mendoza, and the Jets are going to have to pivot. And these quarterbacks are coming out. They don't seem like top 10 quarterbacks, but they may be top 20. So if I'm the Jets, I would definitely take one mid round since they have that pick now. So take a look at a Tyson, so take a look at a Trinidad Chambliss, who was phenomenal in that game against Miami,
Yes.
um, and go from there. So, but
So
the game in general, disaster for Oregon, great for Indiana. They're going to the final, and you know, the Indiana's on top of the world, man.
they're on top of the world right now. And we all know what the best part of all this is, Reggie. We know it.
Yep.
No SEC.
Yep. It'll be Big Ten versus ACC for the right to brag and raise. the trophy as champions of college football. Nothing gets more exciting for that. I think that's next week.
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, next week, Monday. So we'll preview that game when we get there. But yeah, man, Indiana, Miami for all the marbles next week.
Oh, absolutely. Now we move. Now, now we talk about the NFL wildcard weekend, which,
Oh,
bro, what a weekend!
yeah, man, huge weekend. We loved every moment of it.
Yes, we did, and there's something I really loved about it. We'll get to that in a little bit. I think you know what it is.
Yeah, man.
No.
I will say, um, I really learned a lot this weekend about several teams. I learned a lot about the Carolina Panthers and their toughness and their grittiness and their ability to really put a thorn up people's asses. That was very satisfying to watch. I learned a lot about the Philadelphia Eagles and the regression and incompetence from basically all fronts of their game. I learned a lot about Justin Herbert and maybe not, but it seems like he's not necessarily a playoff caliber quarterback. I learned a lot about Josh Allen, even though we already knew so much about Josh Allen. I learned a whole lot more about his ability to really put his team on his back. And then I learned a lot about the Chicago Bears and how they are never ever out of it, especially when you have a team like Green Bay who got off to a hot start. We'll start with Carolina and LA. And Bill, what a back and forth matchup this was.
This was a great matchup, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a great matchup. The Los Angeles Rams beating the Carolina Panthers 34 to 31.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow, Stafford had a really good game.
Yeah, Stafford, especially down the stretch in this game, made big plays and showed us truly why he is so good at being a quarterback in this league, why he's ready for the moment, and why the Rams trust him to make the big plays.
Yeah, that game just went back and this was another game that just went back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
This game just went back and forth, bro.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, kudos to the Panthers. Um, for a while, the Rams and Panthers were trading scores back and forth. I know the Panthers, when they took the lead, before that, they had a block punt, which gave them great field position. Like, everything about this game was just awesome. It was exciting. It was emotional. I love seeing the Panthers fans be happy again to root for a team that's, that could fight, that could compete, and they let everyone know about it. So
Yes.
kudos to him. Kudos to Bryce Young, man. Like he's going to be a big time stellar quarterback in this league one day.
This was a
And
slugfest.
yeah, it was awesome to watch. Now he didn't have necessarily his best day, but he made plays. And of course, look, when the passing yards weren't there, by the way, good game out of Jalen Coker. He had a touchdown, 9 receptions. The running game was also big. Chuba Hubbard had 2 touchdowns on the game for Carolina, rushing. So it's it was a good day for Carolina. They really, really took it to the Rams defense. Rams defense that I thought would be a whole lot better, but it wasn't. Thankfully, though, you had Matt Stafford in the offense making big plays. How about that pass at the end of the game from Matthew Stafford to Kobe Parkinson for the score that gave the Rams the lead for good? I mean, it was an awesome pass and even a better catch too. So, um, stellar performance though.
Just that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was absolutely awesome. And Stafford, okay. Stafford or Drake May, who's going to be MVP?
I still think it should be Christian McCaffrey, but they're not going to give it
Okay.
away. So,
Unfortunately, there's a big quarterback bias.
exactly.
But in the words of my nephew, okay, he's not really my nephew, he's my buddy's kid, but he calls me Uncle Bill. In the words of my nephew, Finn, Stafford! Because, anyway, no, I think Stafford played hell of a game. The Rams, I think, my dad was saying he doesn't really think they're that good, but I don't know. What I saw this weekend.
I think they took a massive hit defensively, but offensively, especially now that they have Devontae back, now that they can really rely on the passing game, and Stafford's really good at throwing the ball. So one thing has to work out. If both things work out, great. If one thing works out, great. If none of it works out, well, it's a disaster. And we've seen that before. Um, I think the Rams are much healthier for this playoff run, and that's what makes them really dangerous. So it's never good to count out the Rams.
Don't ever count out the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, the ba next, our condolences to our dear friend, the Patchman.
Mhm. Yeah.
The Chicago Bears beating the Packers 31-27.
When is the patch man going to stop being like, what? It was a great season. It was awesome. We made the playoffs and everything. Like, when is he
Stop
going to?
lowering the damn bar.
When is he going to stop that? Because I guarantee you, I haven't spoken to him in a while. I can almost guarantee you that's exactly what he said. It was a great season. It was awesome. It was a great game. You blew. You had a massive lead going into the fourth quarter, and the Bears outscored you, what, 28-3 or something in the fourth quarter. They scored 28 points. You allowed that to happen.
That it wasn't a great game.
That
If
doesn't
you're
piss you off.
saying that should piss you off.
This is horrible. And the Bears for 3 quarters were doing nothing. You know, you
Zip.
had you had Ben Johnson getting very cute with his plays, and the defense being all over it. The Packers defense being all over it. They did a really, really good job. Packers making every big play possible, passing, defense, and rushing the ball. Like Bears couldn't stop that. It was a disaster for 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden, Caleb Williams comes out alive, like a man possessed.
Yeah. And
Nuts.
he just came out and like a dog on a chain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Like a dog on a chain. He just came out flinging.
Yeah, man.
So, Patch Man, we don't want to hear that it was a good season. We don't want to hear that bullshit today.
Yeah. And if you're listening, like, tell us how you truly feel. We're here. We're,
It's
you
like
know,
the time, do you remember, Reggie, a couple years ago when the Packers, when they lost to the Giants in London, and then the next week they lost to the Jets? Do you remember this?
yeah,
Um, and he texted me. I was in Vegas when the Giants played the Packers, and I remember I was watching football in a bar at 6:30 in the morning.
yeah,
And yes, folks, I was drinking. Because when you're in Vegas, certain social rules are suspended.
yeah.
But I remember he was texting me, hey, Barkley and Daniel Jones had a good game. I'm like thinking, dude, you got owned. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when And then the next week, the Jets beat the Packers. Remember this, Reggie? He texts you Jets. Yes, yes, yes. Like, dude, stop it. Just stop it. Just fucking stop it.
Yeah. Um, Nonetheless, for the Packers, it was a good day for Jordan Love. He had 4 touchdowns, 323 yards passing. Um, Josh Jacobs was very effective, 19 carries, 55 yards. Romeo Dobbs with 8 receptions, a touchdown, 124 yards total. So the offense was there; it was clicking. But somehow, some way, Caleb Williams and the Bears they find a way to win games. I mean, it was awesome to watch. An excellent comeback by the Bears. Excellent for Ben Johnson to keep his team going. When they were really down. And again, like it was poor 3 quarters for Chicago. So hats off to them for the comeback. But the Packers season ends. Everyone was wondering what's going to happen with LaFleur. Well, it seems like LaFleur and the Packers are talking it out, and then they're going to try to find a way to keep LaFleur as head coach.
Like
Um,
there was talk, is LaFleur gonna get canned? I don't think he is.
yeah, I don't think so too. Again, now it's just negotiating a new contract and seeing where the team goes. It's
Because
the
you
process.
gotta look at it at this point. We're basically we talked about Black Monday last week, how the earliest you could fire someone is Sunday night, the latest is Tuesday. If the Packers were to somehow fire Matt LaFleur, that would be a terrible move on their part right now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these coaching candidates, they already have their teams picked out of who they're going to interview for,
Mm.
of who they're going to interview for. So, um, and some of them have already interviewed. They've
Mm.
already completed their first interview. So I don't think that would be smart on Green Bay right now because you might not have a lot of options.
Exactly. So,
But speaking of, okay, you know what? We could save this for after. Never mind.
well,
Um,
well, what you have in mind?
well, because I was say, speaking of like coaching options and stuff, dude, I've been hearing sources. I saw this on CBS Sports. Did you see who John Harbaugh's top two choices are, according to some sources?
Well, I know it has to be the Giants, it has to be there, and
The
the Dolphins,
the the Giants and no, the Falcons.
the Falcons. You know what? They just hired Matt Ryan, the Falcons, as president of football. So Matt Ryan's a good football guy. So I would assume. that he has his eyes on Atlanta. If Harbaugh is interested, definitely give him a call. Like, absolutely. You're hey,
If
look.
Miami, because let me tell, and some are saying that Miami is not on the list.
Again, sure. I mean, I would be very shocked if that's the case. You know, look, Miami may not be necessarily the greatest franchise. They're incompetent at times, but Florida versus New York City, like, come on, like, who would say take Florida? Like, in a heartbeat.
And
Atlanta
you know
would
what?
be Atlanta would be interesting though.
My dad said actually, he goes like, you know what would actually, because John Harbaugh, he's been in the league for a long time. He's got a ring. You know what he can actually afford to do if he's interviewing with the Giants? My father said this. He said, I'll come, but get rid of Joe Shane. My dad said he has the leverage for that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's not guaranteed that Joe Shane's going to stay. Look, if John Harbaugh wants to be the judge, the jury, and executioner, you give it to him. You don't tell him, well, you're going to have to work with Joe Shane, or you can be the judge, jury, executioner, and Joe Shane take. No. It's his regime.
Now, if John Harbaugh says to John Mara, yeah, a lot of Johns here, folks. If John Harbaugh says to John Mara, if I come, Joe's gone. Joe Shane is gonzo.
Yeah.
And
And how can you say no? How can you say no?
if if John Mara chooses Joe Shane over John Harbaugh, he is officially the dumbest motherfucker in the NFL. He really is.
Yeah.
If you're choosing your GM, who, how many times do we have to go through Joe Shane's track record, Dan? Um,
Yeah.
Again, play that Hard Knocks clip like no tomorrow. How
Yeah.
many times do we have to, Reggie, my boy, how many times, like, listen, I'm, if, Mara picks, if Mara picks Joe Shane over John Harbaugh, then I've lost all faith in this Giants team. I've lost hope in this Giants team because you picked a certified loser over someone who knows how to win.
Yeah. And that's the
And
truth.
listen, if they do, if John, maybe that isn't one of John Harbaugh's conditions. If he's like, okay, I'll work with Joe Shane, but Joe, laissez-faire, hands off.
but with Joe Shane, easily give up that role then. Look, Joe Shane for the most part has been a disaster. I know he had a better draft last year. He did. Drafted Dart, got Scatterboo. Um, like it's been better. But overall, his decisions on player personnel have been terrible. So something to take into account. I don't know if he would necessarily give up the role, but you just never know. And you got to think about these things um, when making these plays. That you need a coach, you need a football song,
No,
and
you
for
absolutely need
and
a football star.
and for the Giants, it's different. You can't mess around and go with these inexperienced people. And the Giants are doing the right thing right now by looking at experienced head coaches. So it's gonna be interesting for the Giants. All right. Well, let's move on. Um,
Yeah, sorry, a
so,
little tangent there.
so about the Sunday slate, which is again Uh, it was great until Sunday night, but we started with Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock affair. It was the Buffalo Bills against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, another back and forth affair where teams were just trading points. Both teams scored 14 in the fourth quarter. Um, I think this game had four lead changes in the fourth quarter, which is just insane. Like that, I think that's like the most in NFL history. Um, so wild stuff. But it was the Buffalo Bills coming out on top, 27-24. Game-winning interception by the Bills to seal their fate, and the Jaguars go home again early in the playoffs. I will say it was not necessarily the best day for the Jaguars. I know Trevor Lawrence had three touchdowns, but he also threw two picks. So not necessarily the best. I know coaching wise, I think McDermott had the upper hand coaching
Yep.
wise. He definitely knew what plays to call, what to make, how to line up his defense. Um, Jacksonville at times I don't think they're necessarily ready. They scored points, but I don't think they're necessarily ready to play. Um, like it wasn't a terrible day, but it also wasn't great. Like just so that you know, even the kicker, the Cam Little, who could apparently make anything from like 90, he missed from like 50 yards, and that cost them 3 points. And then also they played analytics at the end of the first half and gave up the three easy points to go for on 4th and 2, and they don't get it. So it's those things that kind of helped out the Bills, even though again Jacksonville had a chance to steal the game, and they allowed Josh Allen, who's just absolutely amazing. He's arguably the best player in football.
Oh, that was great yesterday. Josh Allen just really.
Yeah, him going down the field late in the game and scoring a touchdown, again, literally carrying his team on his back the entire day. Like, you know, all that whole offense was centered around the fact that Josh Allen made big plays. He is unbelievable. And again, like, given the situation going on here with Buffalo and not having a Lamar, not having a Patrick Mahomes, like this is his best chance to win a Super Bowl. So he has to play all out. By the way, the Buffalo Bills first road win since 1992 in the playoffs.
No, yeah, their first win since 1992 on the road.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
is I'm sure Nate Moser was doing backflips today.
Yeah. Uh, holy shit was his response to my text when I told him the Bills win.
Is he starting to plan his 6 month celebration yet?
He doesn't celebrate until it's zeroed on the clock.
He's No, because
Like,
I was telling people yesterday. It goes, I told about our good friend Nate Moser. I told my friends he's a big Bills fan, and if the Bills win it all, we will not see him for 6 months because he will be celebrating for 6 straight months.
yeah, no, we definitely won't see him. I mean, I may see him, I may not. Like, I can go a year without seeing Moser. Obviously, I would never want that. I want to see Moser,
No,
but
no, we like Nate Moser. We
know,
bust his chops, but he's a good dude.
but yeah, like like if he disappears for 6 months, not that I wouldn't notice, but it could definitely happen and stuff. So yeah, um, but in any case, yeah, good day for Buffalo. Good day for them. They move on. They're going to face Denver. We'll tell you why in a second. Can you believe that this Denver game, they're favored by a point and a half?
Denver?
No, the Buffalo Bills are favored
Oh
by a
no,
point
after
and a
what
half.
you see with Josh Allen, I would not be shocked actually.
Like, how about Denver being home underdogs? uh,
Whoa.
crazy, crazy world with, and it's not. It's. Here's the thing, though. It's it's understandable. The Bills right now are capable of making big time plays. And look, it's not like the Broncos are impressive. Like their offense has gone quiet at some of these games this past regular season. And even though their defense is pretty good, sometimes the offense kind of scares you. So it's not necessarily a crazy thing to favor the Buffalo Bills and win this game.
No, it's not. It's not crazy.
Especially if Broncos are only getting a point and a half. So
No, listen, we'll make our picks on Friday, but
yeah.
yeah, no, but no, dude, I think Josh Allen's gonna be coming into that game with a fire under his ass.
Yeah. Look, he has to do everything on the road. So look, it's a massive, massive chip on his shoulder. Um, of course, Jacksonville's season ends in a thud. Um, but I will say this on the massive bright side, Parker Washington for Jacksonville is going to be an awesome, awesome wide receiver. And he was kind of sort of under the radar all season. He has been absolutely stellar. They're developing him to be one of the best wide receivers in the league. And um, Trevor Lawrence, as long as he continues to be the big time passer that he is, has a massive weapon on him. So, like I said, Washington, he had 700 plus yards on the day and a touchdown. So, definitely something to watch out moving forward on the Jacksonville end. Um, and of course, you feel for Jaguars, but I think this is a good learning experience for Liam Cohen. First taste
You
of
know what? Cohen had a hell of a season.
he did have a hell of a season. It ended in a thud, but he had an awesome season. And um, look, Jacksonville, they're learning, and it's always good to learn when you lose, right?
Yep.
Learn what to do, what not. Had fun for them.
And and um and the game that really ended Saturday and Sunday with a thud. The Patriots beating the Chargers 16-3.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to save the thing for last. Okay, cool. We'll start with
Oh
the
no,
good.
no, shit, I skipped it. I'm sorry, I skipped
No,
it.
no, 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 but it's okay. If you want to talk about it last, I get it. Like you have true feelings about it. And, like
I have to, you know what? Let's get through this one first, and then we'll go to the one that makes me want
yeah,
to do backwards.
it's all good. It's all good. Now this game this was not even this. The Patriots beating the Chargers 16-3.
That's what we have to say about that game. Herbert sucks.
God, he is terrible, man. Like
He cracked under pressure.
like I think overall he's a professional NFL quarterback. He is capable of being a QB on any team. Like he is a very good quarterback. He is horrible in these big time games. This is his third playoff game, and he's lost all of them. He's lost all of them. While he didn't necessarily throw a pick, it's not like he was moving the offense. And that's a massive problem for Justin Herbert. You got to move
Yes.
the offense. You know, the Patriots were all over it. They were sacking him like it was no other, pressuring like it was no other, underthrew guys, overthrew guys. It was a disaster on all ends for the Chargers. And we keep saying, oh no, he just needs the right coach. Well, I, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, he has the coach.
He is the coach. So anyway, the Pats, Mike Vrabel also having a great time season in New England.
Yeah, man. And of course, it wasn't necessarily a big time offensive game. There was only one touchdown thrown, but big time defense.
Big time Dave. That defense is scary.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm telling you that they made that Chargers offense look silly. And look again, I know the Chargers didn't they don't necessarily have everybody healthy and stuff, but they're good enough to make the playoffs. Like be a playoff team. The Patriots showed why they're the number 2 seed in the AFC. They showed why they're 14-3. Like again, not necessarily the best offensive day for Drake May. Um, However, the fact that the defense came through big time was it just goes to show you. It goes to show you uh, how dangerous the defense can be. So hats off to New England. All right, now Bill,
Now, the game
let's
that
get
made me want to celebrate and do backflips yesterday.
yes.
The San Francisco 49ers taking down the Philadelphia Eagles. Down go the defending champs. Down to the ground, baby. Down to the ground. And Philly probably doesn't exist this morning. The 49ers beating the Eagles 23-19. Dude, this was a whoa, 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 wow, wow, wow. Going into the fourth quarter, the Eagles were up 16-10.
Mhm.
And the Niners just a boom.
Yeah.
The Niners just boom, 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 boom.
You see that trickery, the jet sweep, Jennings with the pass to McCaffrey. Um, um, and of course, he was McCaffrey being wide open, which is absolutely hilarious on that thing. But Juwan Jennings, he was known to be a quarterback in high school, so it doesn't surprise me that he's somewhat of a competent passer there. Um, but yeah, the Eagles, they didn't see that coming, and they got completely fooled on that trickery there. So just one of the very big plays that Kyle Shanahan and his offense uh, continue to make, and you know for the Eagles, a lot of missed opportunity. How many times did AJ Brown and he gets pissed off every time he's not targeted or every time a throw misses him. Well, there were several targets to him that were perfect from Jalen Hurts and drop pass. Devonta Smith had a horrible drop, late in the
So did
game
AJ
too.
Brown.
AJ Brown, like I said, gets pissed off. He's driving the ball right to his hands, right?
Yep. So you know
And
what?
go ahead though.
This shows you Philly is not really that good.
No, I mean the offensive line took a massive hit this season. The quarterback, like James Hurts is good, but you can only do so much if the rest of the offense isn't cooperating. You know, and all he's doing is running for his life. It's a problem. The tush push wasn't as effective this year because, like I said, the offensive line it regressed. It regressed really bad this year, and the Eagles got to own it. So you have that. You have the fact that your receivers can catch the ball, and I know I'm kind of giving the quarterback a pass, but I'm also not because he also didn't play very well this year. And he usually plays better, is basically what I'm saying. I know he's better than what his numbers have shown. So it was a tough
No, I
year.
totally agree.
It was a tough year for the Eagles. Um, Look, they obviously had to change their offensive coordinator because they lost him. Um, and it just the offense just was very predictable. Like the Niners defense knew exactly what Philly was going to do the entire time. It didn't
Yes.
take it didn't take much for
No, it didn't.
them to figure it out.
No,
So
it absolutely did not. It didn't take him too much time to figure it out. And San Francisco, Brock Purdy looked amazing yesterday.
Brock Purdy was absolutely stellar. Um, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks, but 262 yards. Um, Always making big plays. The receiving core was absolutely, absolutely amazing. McCaffrey had 2 touchdowns. Demarcus Robinson had a tutty reception. He also had 111 yards receiving. Um, and like I said, that trick play, Jawan Jennings, a passing touchdown, credited to him as well. Um, you combine the defense and the offense from the Niners, making plays and doing stuff. It's gonna be a tough matchup for Seattle. That's where they're going next. And let me try. I'm gonna try to understand this. So the Bears played on Saturday. The Niners played on Sunday. You mean to tell me that the Bears have a longer uh that they could wait a little longer to play, but the Niners have to go on a short week to Seattle? They play on Saturday. Make
Yes,
that make
that's
sense.
true. Okay.
Make that make
So
sense.
yeah. So the Bears got to wait till Sunday to play.
Why? Why can't they play on Saturday?
That's a good question. Why can't they play Saturday?
You know, the Niners have to go to Seattle on a short week, but the Bears, they can play the Rams
At
a
home?
long week, on a longer week. Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Because they're probably thinking, Seattle already had the first round bye, so they'll be well rested and ready to go. While San Fran's probably not going to be fully ready to go, and I probably won't be able to see that game. You know why? Because I got a wedding this weekend.
Oh, is it a member of your family?
So
Or is it
you know what? Early shout out now. So give them a shout out on Friday. But you know what? What the heck? We're here. Yeah. Shout out to my very dear friend Tommy Froelich and his soon-to-be wife Emily. They're getting married this Saturday. So you had to
uh,
do this during NFL playoff weekend, buddy. Come on, come on. We couldn't wait a couple weeks. We could wait a couple weeks. Come on, a couple weeks wouldn't hurt. Um, no, but I was telling my mom this morning, because thank God the Giants aren't in it, because then I'd be really, Tom, I love you, bro, but priorities, dude, priorities.
ugh, they
But
can't.
but yeah, so So yeah, that is the postseason. That is the wild card weekend. Will end tonight with the Pittsburgh Houston game, and I think we both got Houston for that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, the Steelers need to show me something, because they got lucky against Baltimore. They've gotten lucky all year with the amount of poor performances that this team has had, especially with the quarterback and everything. But they gotta show me something. Like they really want to win. Like beat this Texans team that has a stellar defense and a offense that's continuing to get better and better. Show me something um, before I can take you seriously, and I really can't take the Steelers seriously. So I'm still with Houston to win this one.
No, I'm with Houston too.
Yeah. And of course, we'll keep an eye on that game. Um, and of course, Friday we'll go through the divisional round and stuff. But NFL, good start to the playoffs.
Yes, great start to the playoffs.
Absolutely amazing.
We can do this. And you know what's so great about all this now? Dude, I said this last week, Broski. Welcome to the Hunger Games. Welcome.
I will say this is actually a very competitive. I didn't
Because you know
realize
what?
that.
You got to look at it this way, bro. You got to look at
Mhm,
it this way. Are you ready?
mhm.
No, no, no Mahomes, no Lamar. Philly's out.
Yep.
Let the chaos let the chaos begin.
And right now, the only threat to teams like the Buffalo Bills is Seattle, San Francisco, and the Bears. If you want to put the LA Rams there too, fine. But those are the three teams that I would really, really like shit my pants over.
What would you say to a Chicago Buffalo Super Bowl?
That'd be a weird. That'd be a weird Super Bowl. Um, I think it'd be very interesting. I think the more interesting one would be like a San Francisco Buffalo.
That'd be a good, and San Francisco would be at home.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be a home game essentially. We'll see. Playoffs continue next weekend, starting Saturday. Again, still trying to fill out this bracket. Winner of Texans Steelers goes to on to face the Patriots in Foxborough.
And that's
Um,
the only game that will lock everything in.
yeah. And we now know that the Patriots game will be on a Sunday, and then the Broncos Bills will be on a Saturday. All right. Now, real quick, let's move over to baseball because we do have some news to share. Um, how about Alex Bregman, though?
He's
You know,
going
he,
good weekend for Chicago. You just had the Bears win, and now Bregman's coming to Chi-Town. He's going
yeah,
to go.
man. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was just tired of waiting. He opted out of that contract with the Red Sox. He was like, I'm tired of waiting. He's around the corner. He signed a 5-year, $175 million contract. Um, and it look, the Cubs have always wanted Bregman. They tried to get him last year, didn't quite work out. He went to the Red Sox. Um, look, I think it's a great deal for Bregman. He worked his ass off in Boston, and really earned his contract. So good for him. And hopefully this starts a domino effect. You start
I
to
hope
see
so.
Tucker. You start to see Bellinger. Oh, speaking of Cody Bellinger, him and the Yankees have reached an impasse on contract talks.
So is he going to Uncle Stevie now?
Well, here's the thing. The Mets want Kyle Tucker over Cody Bellinger. So I think they're in the Tucker sweepstakes. If they don't get Tucker, I think they would fall back on Cody Bellinger. With that said, though, is it Bellinger the guy that the Mets really want? I don't think so. So it also wouldn't surprise me if the Mets decide not to go after Cody Bellinger because I don't think that's who they truly want. And based on what David Stearns is doing and how he's building the Mets, I really don't think he wants to be a big look. He obviously did the Soto contract. I don't think he wants to do any more of these big contracts. I really think he wants to fill it in with young players or players that go by the sabermetrics. So it's something to look out for. Like when when Steve Cohen signed David Stern to be the president of baseball, or wherever the heck he's known as. I think that was his goal, was to treat the Mets like the Brewers, because that's where he was at, before. So be very interesting to watch what the Mets do. Um, Especially since they didn't sign Diaz and Alonso and everything. So very interesting to see what they do. I think they're in on Tucker. Yankees reaching an impasse with Cody Bellinger's bid, and
Yes, that's scary.
and and Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner, they're already like, look, we're moving on. So the ball's in his court.
Yes, but you know what? Because here's the thing. All of them now want this Aaron Judge type, well, not much Aaron Judge. They all want the Juan Soto type money now.
Right, or something close to it, because Vladdy got paid, Juan Soto obviously got paid, Shohei got paid. Like these, especially with the Scott Boras clients, they want the big money, they want the big bucks.
Scott Boras.
So I think the Yankees shouldn't necessarily give up on Bellinger, especially if he's willing to dock it down a bit. Um, but look, based on what I'm seeing, and look, maybe the Yankees are playing a game. Maybe they are playing with Bellinger.
Maybe they are.
But if it's true, they're like, "Hey, we're done." I don't know. I don't know where Bellinger would go. That's my thing. You know,
Yeah, where will Bellinger go? Is Uncle Stevie gonna get him? Or are they looking at Kyle Tucker?
but it does seem less and less likely that a reunion, Bellinger and the Yanks, not happening.
Doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
Yeah. But Alex Bregman again to the Cubs. Great deal for the Cubs. Bregman's so good. Um, he gives you the contact, he gives you the RBI, and then of course he plays also pretty good third base. So um, definitely something that the Cubs needed. It's great.
Oh, it absolutely is great.
Yeah.
So that's where we are right now, folks.
Yeah, and obviously, Mike Ripken will address this on Batter Up. He's planning to uh, obviously free agency and everything, but he also is going to do a Hall of Fame Batter Up. So please stay tuned for that. We also will react to Hall of Fame and everything. I still think Alex Rodriguez is a Hall of Famer. You know,
You know,
uh,
I never
Barry
thought
Bonds is a Hall of Famer. But whatever.
you probably never thought you'd hear me say this in the what 13 years we've been friends.
Mm-hmm.
Let him in, let A-Rod in. Yes, you've been
God,
waiting.
God, Bill, I wonder what changed your mind.
You know what? I feel like I'm just done being the Boy Scout right now. I'm just done with the whole, well, they play good on this steroid era. Well, actually, no, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this whole integrity of the game bullshit. Just let them in.
Because it's never about the integrity. It is everything about that A-Rod was an asshole to
And he
people.
was. A-Rod
And
was
he,
an
and he
asshole.
was. And he was.
But,
You
and you know
know?
what? I'm sorry. We in Major League Baseball, the Hall of Fame,
It,
I
it,
think we either need to get rid of or at least alter the character clause.
like it's a bias thing. It has nothing to do with the impact that Alex Rodriguez had on baseball, and he did have a major impact on the game. You know, it's everything about character and how the writers feel about the guy.
Because
So, and that's it. It's never been about steroids. If it was about steroids, Bud Selig would not be in the Hall of Fame. Let's be real about that.
he was a commissioner during the steroid era. But
And
you know what?
allowed it to happen under his watch.
But you know what, Reg? Let me ask you something. Is it is it time to alter or just completely get rid of the character clause?
Look, the writers are going to make their decision based on how they feel. Like, you can't get rid of it totally because ultimately there is going to be that bias against some of these players.
But look at the Football Hall of Fame. Someone who killed someone is in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
O.J. Simpson, who killed?
Yeah, but then OJ get inducted before all that stuff happened. Like,
Fair. That's fair, but dude, he's in there. And there had been attempts to take him out of the Hall of Fame, but we all know that's not going to happen.
tough one. But the Hall of Fame at sometime at the end of the month, we'll get to it, and then of course, previewing the baseball season. Spring training is literally a few weeks away, and you know what that means, Bill? Bombers Banter's come back soon.
Yes. So, when should we have our first Bombers banter? February or March?
Sometime around spring training stuff. Yeah,
So, stay tuned, folks. Bombers banter coming soon.
yeah. I miss Bombers Banter.
I
I
miss
really,
Bombers banter too.
yeah. I wish there were more to talk about, but the Yankees aren't doing anything.
Yeah,
Like,
nothing in our stocking this Christmas. Thanks, Brian
like
Cashman. Thanks,
you
Jordan
know, like
Houseman.
like like if the Yankees made some big moves this offseason, like we'll be all over it. But if there's nothing to really talk about, what we're gonna do? Bitch and moan about the Yankees not doing anything? We can do it here.
We can just do here and save the good people some time.
You know, we'll
We
give
can
you
just
a
do that
Bombers
here and
band.
save you lovely folks time.
We'll give you a Bombers band in spring training.
Yes, we will, because we really have nothing to, well, we have stuff to complain about, but it's stuff that we can continue to complain about.
Yeah.
It's stuff that we can continue to complain about.
Uh, in any case, we'll keep you posted on the baseball. Um, Good win by the Knicks. They finally get Josh Hart back. I'm so
Hey,
pumped.
good win for the Knicks. Hart is back in
Yes.
business.
Yeah, man. Look, they beat the Trailblazers. Trailblazers are terrible. Um, but it was really good to have somewhat of a healthy starting lineup to look at that.
Somewhat of a healthy starting lineup, that is true.
um, well, on to Friday, Bill. We appreciate you. We love
We
you.
love you.
Thank you.
And don't forget to check us out on our website, www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. Check out our blogs, check out our podcast, available on all platforms. And don't forget to check us out here on the YouTube, where you get Sunday Sideline, Thursday Night Gridiron, which we might have one this week because there are Saturday games we will preview. We
Yep.
got, we have, okay, Thursday night, Sunday Sideline, Batter Up, and a whole bunch of other fun stuff. So like, comment, subscribe, and give that bell a hit right there. Hit that bell.
Yeah. More football. Go to Wishbone Shotgun. They'll do a whole thing on this Super Wild Card weekend. I think they're waiting for the conclusion of tonight's game, Texans Steelers, before they drop one. So Mike Ripken, Noah Trombley, all of them, they'll definitely with that. Wherever you get your podcasts, and you can hear the audio version of this show as well. Wherever you get your podcasts, we appreciate
Wherever you get it.
all of it. We appreciate all of you. We love you. And please continue to support the network. We have more content on the way. Probably a better look of how this video thing's gonna work out.
Because
So
we're switching our streaming soon.
yeah, we don't know where yet, but we're working. So